All right, folks, welcome back. Let's continue with understanding September 11th, the aftermath. In the weeks after September 11th, news reports were filled with coverage as Americans looked for answers about the attacks. Reporters told stories of the men, women, and children who were killed during the tragedy. Victims from 115 different countries who gathered in New York City to find work and live the American dream were lost that day. 3,000 children lost at least one parent during the attacks, and 1,300 children lost both their parents, leaving them as orphans. 343 New York City firefighters were also lost when the World Trade Center buildings fell. The United States had learned many warning signs and worked to prevent future attacks. In about a month's time, new security rules were in place at airports. Passengers found themselves having to follow stricter rules while traveling. All bags needed to be screened carefully before being placed on the airplane, and more security checkpoints were created. Immigration and border control came into the spotlight. Government officials opened a Department of Homeland Security by 2002 to better protect the United States from future attacks. President George W. Bush declared a war on terrorism shortly after the attacks. In October, American soldiers entered Afghanistan. Troops overturned a man named Saddam Hussein, who was the president of Iraq for more than 20 years. On May 2, 2011, a group of brave Navy SEALs entered bin Laden's home in Pakistan and captured him. His body was buried at sea. Stopping these two men were important steps in controlling terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and helping the country of Iraq to create a more secure government. On January 30, 2005, Iraqi citizens were able to vote for their country's president for the first time in 50 years. Building a healthy government in these countries will help to control rebel groups from forming and gaining power. Nearly 7,000 American soldiers have lost their lives, and another 500,000 soldiers have been wounded in action. Thankfully, 2.5 million soldiers have returned home after fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. Their lives will never be the same. The question that I want in your notebooks for this selection: what are some things the United States did to make airports safer? Again, what are some things the United States did to make airports safer? You're going to copy this question into your notebook and answer it to the best of your ability.